Hello everybody, this is Flash Notion, the Ponified Talking Head, here with another reaction, and you can already probably tell by my voice that everything's messed up again. I'm having to record at a very bad time. At least the actual reaction part, I'll probably have to record my thoughts at a later time. But I really want to get this reaction done, because I don't want to have to wait a week. So yeah. Episode 22 of Season 7, entitled Once Upon a Zeppelin. And what I know is that this is actually the first Twilight-centered episode in a long, long time. I don't think we've had an episode focused on Twilight in, several seasons. Season 4, at least, I think. Maybe, no, it was Season 5, because it was Amending Fences. Even though that one technically had more to do with Moondancer, but whatever. In any case, what I know about this episode is that Twilight and her family are going on a cruise, like an airship cruise, and it turns out that the entire thing is actually themed around, there's a princess on board, which nobody told her, and now she feels obligated to help people or something, and it's messing stuff up. At first I was worried that this was going to be a little bit too much like Triple Threat, and there would be some Aesop amnesia going on, but then I realized that episode was all Spike's fault, and it was his fault for scheduling two things at once. This one is more just people taking advantage of Twilight, which has happened before, but it's never really been something that she's been able to deal with herself. It's something that happened at a time when she was a bit less of a princess, I want to say. You know what I mean? It was Twilight time. That episode, she could actually say to them, stop doing that. But here it's probably going to be a little bit more difficult. In any case, I'm looking forward to seeing Cadence in Shining Armor again. I'm looking forward to getting some characterization for her parents, which would be really cool. I wonder if Flurry Heart's going to be in it. I don't know. Let's find out. Starting in 3, 2, 1, go. Too loud. Holy crap, paperwork. And Spike's just ready. Ooh.
Oh, thank goodness. I thought I had too many deep-fried gems.
That's a thing? Also, been a while since we got Dragon Mail.
Spike, they won a Zeppelin cruise and get to take the whole family.
They won a Zeppelin cruise?
I wish I had time to go with them, but there's just too many princess duties I have to take care of.
Come on, Twilight. Even Princess Celestia takes a break sometimes, and she raises...
Well, I don't remember the last time she did.
You need a vacation. I can keep track of the friendship law.
He just wants to play ogres and oubliettes.
For a few days.
But Spike, you're as much a part of my family as any pony. I can't just leave you here to do all that work.
What? I can't hear you. We're on vacation.
I
guess I
love
could use a little
Spike
time off from being a princess.
right now.
You're the best, Spike.
We know.
I know.
Pack everything you need in the suitcase.
Wait for it.
Cruisers have activities, right? I should probably make a schedule.
There it is.
Aww. That was adorable on so many levels. So yeah, her parents won the cruise. That's interesting. They really need to change this intro. They really do. They need to re-record it, reanimate it from scratch. So much has changed. They should include more ponies in it, everything. Oh well. So yeah, let's find out what this is all about. Oh, that is nice. We haven't seen that.
Really looking forward to a relaxing vacation.
Watch out. She won't admit it, but when your mother says relaxing vacation, she means doing something crazy. Last time she ended up bungee jumping over Luna Bay.
What was that, hon?
I was, just
excuse me?
about my new,
So,
crypto strategy.
she's...
It's a real page turner.
Oh, so he's the author.
Can't wait to get
Interesting.
fly like a Pegasus.
Really? I remember you getting airsick on Admiral Fairweather's wild ride at Pony Island.
Please, I grew out of air sickness a long time ago.
And...
You ponies feel welcomed aboard because you are.
Is that
Well, that was an assertive welcome.
Iron Will? Iron Will? Holy crap! It is! Holy crap! Oh, I like that they're using the theme there. That's pretty cool. Nice. Aw, Flurry. Also, were her parents' voices different?
Big time prize winners.
I guess we'll find out at the end, but...
Wish I could remember what contest we won.
Wait, you don't know where this prize came from?
When some pony offers you a free vacation, you just sign the paperwork and don't ask questions.
Yeah, fair enough.
It means we all get to fly off together.
Of course, that's how horror movies begin.
First.
Well, I did categorize the ship's activity.
Oh, Twilight, oh, Twilight, oh, Twilight.
Dad, you're easy. Bingo competition right here.
Oh, I just love how the numbers and letters are organized in their little boxes. It's so satisfying.
Shining.
Well, that's where she gets it then.
Boat race in a tiny pool. Here.
Aw, sis. Only you would remember I love tiny things.
And Cadence, there's a Pee-wee Princess playtime here that Flurry's gonna love.
Aww.
Oh, wonderful.
Aww.
This barrel jumping at Niagara Falls sounds interesting.
I just want to see you all have a good time. And this works out perfectly because we have...
And you can even see where she wrote on it.
Our ship passes the frozen north at sunset, which is the only time you can see the astrological phenomenon known
Ooh.
as the northern stars. It's like the stars are shooting out of the setting sun.
Holy crap. That sounds epic.
Well, we definitely don't want to miss that.
This is really interesting,
We
because
don't have anything to do right now. Any suggestions?
the
Attention cruise ponies. Don't let this Zeppelin be a bore. Leave your room and see the tour.
A tour could be fun.
oh, Iron Will. AK Titanic reference and
I'm afraid
illness.
Florrie may be airsick. Since I know that isn't a problem for you, would you mind taking her below?
Clever.
You can just make out the white tubs of Cloudsdale, where Princess Twilight Sparkle once toured the weather factory.
Oh. Callbacks.
And why announce it on a cruise?
They didn't quite realize that she was going to be on board.
Why don't we move to the other side of the deck?
We are now high enough to see all of Camelot, even the royal tree where Princess Twilight and her brother Shining Armor were born.
What? That's not right.
Yeah, no duh. And they're just like,
You guys know that's not where we were born. What are you so excited about?
Well, it is a really nice tree, sweetheart.
and that, yeah, that's creepy.
How excited we are to be here!
And spittle in the face. That's a great expression. I love that expression.
We will pass the spires of the Crystal Empire, where
That was fast.
rescued her alicorn baby, Spike, from a monster made of fire.
Well, that doesn't even make sense.
No.
Well, royal grandparents sounds a bit fancy, but of course you can take our picture.
Oh dear. Cosplays? That's terrifying.
Okay, that's it. Does any pony know where the cruise announcer is? Excuse me, sir.
You can call Iron Will, Iron Will.
What are you doing here? And why do you keep announcing random things about me and my family?
The assertiveness seminar market dried up.
Yeah, I would say so.
New career, organizing themed vacation packages.
And the theme of this vacation is...
Every pony, stomp your hooves if you are here for the premiere Cruise of the Princess's Experience.
Oh, wow. And that is a devious look. I'm just mostly glad to see him. I mean, it's been it's been a long time.
entirely honest of you to offer this cruise to my family without telling us that ponies bought tickets just to see Cadence and me.
Iron Will outlined all the details of the cruise in the prize acceptance and consent form that you signed.
When some pony offers you a free vacation, who reads the fine print?
You should have. Definitely.
Providing a quality
His tiny tie is hilarious.
If Twilight Sparkle and her family don't want it, Iron Wheel can cancel the cruise and break the hearts of every princess adoring pony on board.
What the
I
hell?
want a family vacation. I don't think I could entertain all these cruise ponies. My hooves are pretty full taking care of Flurry Heart.
I guess we were just so excited by the idea of a family cruise.
All right, I guess we better turn this ship around.
Wait, Iron Will. What if I offered you a deal? If
Oh.
you agree to do whatever princess activities you want, will you promise that my family gets to do the activities they want?
Sis, you don't have to do that. We want you to
Huh.
enjoy yourself.
That's... This whole thing is a pretty crappy setup here.
These ponies who are looking forward to seeing.
Also,
So what do you say?
kind of implies a little bit more intelligence on Iron Will's part than we would have thought. And... Ow!
Great. So it looks like we have some time before.
Jeez! You heard the crunch.
Of our grand prize raffle.
Oh, well, who doesn't like prizes?
Yeah.
Ponies, when the Zeppelin flies, it's time for a prize.
Thank you all for being so gracious and respectful to me and my family. And now, without further ado, the winner is... Star Tracker! Congratulations, Star Tracker. Enjoy your prize. Okay, Dad. Bingo time.
His prize is that he gets to hang out with you all day.
Sorry, I don't have the prize.
Congratulations to Star Tracker, who wins the grand prize. Spending the day with Twilight as an honorary member of her family.
Oh, that's a dick move.
Prize?
Aw,
Okay, well.
he's adorable.
you should come
I predict shipping.
Family member?
Sure, there's always room at the bingo table.
Wow.
Is every pony ready?
Sure are, sweetie. Give that cage a whirl.
Oh,
What did you say?
He said to give it a whirl.
Oh, thanks.
he's such a creeper. But it's adorable.
I-19.
Hey, now we're talking. This princess bingo is great.
Oh, I didn't even realize he was
That one, Dad?
there.
Can any pony tell me how my dad is doing?
Yeah, he said the princess bingo is great.
Jeez! How can he do that?
Twilight is my favorite time of day. And it's also your name. Just not
Back it off, weirdo. Jeez. Oh, Shining.
Phew! Just made it. And I'm ready to give you the tiny boat race of your life. Are you sure you're not airsick, big brother?
No way.
Well, I mean, you're in a pool on top of an airship.
It totally
So
cancels out.
much sickness.
Don't think that's how it works. But I'm ready if you are.
Technically, Princess Twilight Sparkle should officiate the Princess Paddleboat race.
Wow. There was an aura just hanging in the air.
Oh, well, as long as Shining Armor gets to race, I'm happy.
Nice. How long has it been since she teleported?
Sorry,
Also, how can he do that?
Right about this race
He's an
tonight and
earth pony.
Oh, it's just so exciting.
On your mark, get set, go!
Oh my word, that was exciting! Wasn't it, son?
He didn't even move.
Just so every pony knows.
God, that Cadence mask is terrifying.
Because of how not sick I feel.
Oh, that's all right, dear. We'll
Oh,
go
wow.
back to the room.
Aww.
That was just the first heat of 10.
No. Just no.
To see a princess face when they win their race.
Aww. Aww. That is adorable. Flurry?
Cadence,
No being a little monster, and what the Aw.
Flurry is having a wonderful time.
Flurry, stop levitating the babies.
just on my way to take some old-time Appalachian photos.
Theme photo shoots are the best.
And then do a quick
God, that's creepy.
in Alicorn for Mom's barrel ride at Niagara Falls. I really hope I don't miss that.
Twilight, are you sure you don't mind doing all of these princess activities?
Mind? What?
Alright, what's Flurry gonna do in the background?
You guys are having fun, right? Besides, I have to make sure these cruise ponies are happy if I want to be a good princess.
Already a good princess, Twilight.
Her horn should be showing,
As
but
long as I get to see the
okay,
Northern Stars
that made no
pony,
sense.
I'll be happy. But right now, I gotta go take some pictures. See you later.
Why don't you play and make a princess friend?
Oh, poor Flurry.
I am so sorry, every pony, but it looks like Flurry needs her nap.
Aw. Whoa.
Oh, why did that last question have to be a two-parter? I just hope I have time for one barrel ride with Mom.
And the goats.
Oh, Niagara Falls was amazing! The endless open air, the water in my mane, oh, the smoke
Wow.
of the barrel.
Another relaxing vacation in the books, hon.
Aww.
Oh, honey, I know you're disappointed, but we waited as long as we could. Maybe you should take a break from these princess things.
Disappointed? No. I've just been answering some detailed questions about alicorns. You know how much I love details.
I just don't want you to forget. It's your vacation, too.
Yeah.
And I when it's a totally successful vacation.
Uh-huh.
Well, we can't wait to see those northern stars.
I'm pretty sure her father knows that she's bullshitting her, but...
Will lived up to his side of the bargain, and Princess Twilight only has one more thing to do for the day. It's your last chance. Come get in line.
Oh no, the autographs.
To sign.
Ah, that's horrid. Oh, nice. Oh, are those journals from Fame and Misfortune? Autographed?
How long have you been waiting?
All day.
Oh no. What time is it?
Ooh. Aww. Aww. I don't think we've ever seen Twilight look like that.
You were right, Twilight. They were breathtaking.
Aw.
Wish you'd been here to see it, Sweet Pea, but we're sure you're making a whole bunch of cruise ponies happy.
I'm so happy I could cry.
Oh yeah. The cruise ponies are happy. My family is happy. Even Iron Will is happy. You know who isn't happy? Me!
Ooh, Earth Pony strength.
But maybe that wouldn't have happened if you weren't practically standing on my tail. Not even my real family stands so close.
Oh wow. You kind of put yourself in that position, Twilight.
I only made that deal with Iron Will so my family and the cruise ponies could have the vacation they wanted.
What about what you wanted?
I just want every pony to be happy.
Well, sometimes ponies want more from a princess than you can give, and it can
Huh.
be hard to know where to draw the line.
You seem to know pretty well.
Once I had Flurry Heart, the line was easier for me to see.
True.
You will always have obligations as a princess, but you also have an obligation to yourself.
You're right. I think I need to set some boundaries. But first, I owe some pony an apology.
Yeah, kinda.
Oh, how's that, dearie?
Thanks. But I think I should go.
No, Star Tracker. You should stay. I have something to tell you. All of you. I'm glad you all got to do the things you wanted. But I should have stood up for myself so that I could do what I wanted too. It wasn't fair of me to lash out at you. If I felt like you were standing too close, I should have said something.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What do you say we do something off the schedule?
Oh my. Who are you? That's
As a family,
perfect.
honorary
That's
members too.
aw. Ice cream. That is perfect. It's for Flurry. Aw.
You and your family have been really kind to include me, but you deserve your own vacation together. And I'm really glad we met too.
Oh.
Attention, cruise ponies! If it's your dream, come to the deck for ice cream!
Oh no! Leave the princess alone!
What did you say to Iron Will?
It's okay, every pony. Ahem. First, I want to thank all of you for coming. It means a lot that you'd spend your hard-earned bits just to be with us. But I honestly came on this cruise to take some time off from being a princess.
Huh.
I'm just a pony too, after all. And even though I want every pony here to be happy, I'd really like to spend the rest of the cruise relaxing with my family.
Of course, Princess Twilight.
Oh.
Why was this trip advertised as a cruise of the princesses if you just wanted to get away?
Iron Will's Cruise of the Princesses makes no guarantees as to the participation of actual princesses.
What?
Oh dear. New career again.
Will learned his lesson before. Satisfaction not guaranteed. No refund!
What the hell? He was wearing a parachute. Wow.
Wow. He may be pushy and manipulative, but no pony can say that Minotaur isn't prepared.
Fair enough.
There's still
I don't think he's quite
we pass
evil either, so
I could give Flurry
like
Heart a quick history
I'd say Gladbane was evil, but Iron Will not really, just
Family and I have
pushy and manipulative.
Behold, the Northern Stars.
That is so dumb, but awesome. Also,
You did all this for me? This is amazing.
Twilight's mom is really good at magic. Oh my goodness.
Airsick.
I just realized something.
Air. Oh, okay. Maybe I'm not feeling great. What did you say?
Aww.
Now this is the only activity I need.
Aww. Whoa, whoa. What the? That seems like it could be important. Alright, hey, just... Yeah, so, where is it? Patricia Drake as Twilight Velvet, and Charlie Demers as Nightlight. So they did get new voices. Interesting. Also, Trevor Duvall as Iron Will. I don't remember who voiced him before, but I'm pretty sure it was somebody else. Interesting. So, just real quick here, an initial Well, no. I'll let it sit until later. I'll probably rewatch it a few times before I record my thoughts. So, yeah. See you guys in a moment.
6.5 hours later.
Okay, so I'm back, and as you can probably tell by my voice, it's a much more favorable time for recording. Alright, this episode, I'm not entirely sure why, but I don't entirely, I enjoy watching it. It has a lot of fun stuff going on, but I walk away from it feeling unsatisfied for some reason. And I'm not really sure why. It has good characterization, returning characters, a decent plot. Everything is in favor of this episode, and yet I can't really figure out why I can't just like it. And I don't know why that is. It's weird. But I have some actual things to talk about here, more specific, so we'll get through those. So first of all, that opening sequence. Princess Spike Part 2, I guess? I have a much more favorable opinion than most people of that episode, mostly due to my own headcanon, which we'll talk about that a little bit more later. But no, I actually really like this episode's opening because it showed Spike at his best, and it also showed that Twilight trusts Spike probably more than the audience does, which is just very, very nice to see. And of course, the whole thing about Spike, your family too, and everything, that's pretty good. But then we had the, of course, title sequence, and then of course we went to the airship itself, and I have opinions. Shining armor, air sickness. I'm not really sure I like it. It's a bit funny. It's a nice running gag throughout the episode, but can we just, when we have these recurring male characters, can we just stop bringing them down like that? I understand everybody has flaws in any world, really, but Shining Armor is supposed to be this badass captain of the guard, right? Or at least he used to be. Now he's a prince, so whatever happened to the character who stood up to freaking Sombra? The character whose love for Cadence was strong enough that Chrysalis could overpower Celestia herself. I want to see the guy who can encapsulate all of Canterlot in a dome of energy to keep enemies out. I want to see that stuff from him. I think we've seen enough of the adorkableness to him, and we've seen him be vulnerable with Flurry Heart enough that we don't really need to just add more stuff to that. So, in the future, I really hope that they stop doing things like that with Shining Armor specifically, and with some of the other male characters too. So now to a male character that I actually liked, Nightlight. Yeah, surprising. Now, during the reaction, I said that, he's the author. I said that, and I'm not really sure. Now, I don't remember if this was from an episode or from the comics, but there's this big bit of fanon that Twilight's mother was the author of the family, that she was a writer, and in fact, for a while it was thought that she wrote the Daring Do books. But that's not the case, obviously. And now it seems like her father is the author, but I'm still not actually sure about that, because the way he phrased it in the episode, his bingo strategy guide he was talking about, it could have been that he was talking about a book he wrote, or it could be about a book he's reading. And I'm not really sure which one it is, and if the whole author thing was from the comics, then it wouldn't have been canon anyways, technically, so it's open for debate. Plus, Velvet's character in this episode is what she's like on vacation. It's not really discussed what she's like when they're at home, so I don't know. The one thing we do know is that he likes bingo, and Twilight gets her OCD adorkableness from her dad. She is daddy's little girl, and I really like that. And just in general, he's a very positive male character that we don't get very often. Like, Shining Armor, sort of, Big Mac, sort of, Brayburn, sort of, but most of the time we get ones that are kind of dumb, or else they're just bad guys, like Gladmane, Flim Flam, or the character who showed up in this that we'll talk about later. So it's just very nice to see Nightlight be slightly adorkable, but not Shining Armor levels of, ditziness. So, what about his wife? Twilight Velvet. We finally get her named. I mean, we didn't have Nightlight's name either before the episode, but you know what I mean. Now, this whole situation with her and Nightlight kind of reminds me of Lyravon in Slice of Life, where it was, previously it was suspected that Lyra was the crazy one, and Bonbon was the voice of reason, or something like that. I don't know, I wasn't in the fandom back before that, but still. But yeah, she's kind of like crazy, and I actually really just love the way she acts here. Just going off over the falls and everything. She actually, she's like an adrenaline junkie, and that's some characterization that was previously applied to Princess Cadence, which, now that I think about it, kind of makes Shining Armor seem like he has a bit of an edible complex, which is, when they love their moms in the wrong way. There's been fan fictions about that. But, Shining's even shown to be a bit of a mama's boy after that race right there. So, yeah, just a bit odd there. But, Twilight Velvet also kind of reminds me a bit of this thing I stumbled across a while back while I was just... It came up on FIM Fiction somewhere, and that led me to a Tumblr type blog thing. It used to be called the Ultimare universe. It was basically an alternate universe of MLP, of Friendship is Magic, but some of the characters had their personalities switched, like Rainbow and Twilight, and like Applejack and Rarity were the main ones that they focused on. But it was like Applejack was the prissy one, and Rarity was the workaholic and strong, muscular one in that situation. So when you take that over to Twilight and Rainbow Dash that I already mentioned, Rainbow Dash is suddenly this scholarly, bookworm type character who is obsessed with the history of the Wonderbolts and teaching people how to fly and stuff like that, whereas Twilight uses her magic to go out and have crazy adventures and fight monsters and stuff. They weren't actually called by their normal FIM names in the Ultimate universe. They had alternate names, like Applejack was Sparkling Cider. I think that Twilight was Starburst Nova, I think. But I could be wrong. It was something similar to that. But, yeah. That's kind of what Velvet reminds me of. She has that kind of crazy attitude, while also being obviously the source of Twilight's powerful magic, because she levitates herself, Flurry Heart, and Shining Armor at the end of the episode, and that's pretty impressive. As far as unicorns go, the only one who's actually been shown to have that level of magic before, other than Twilight, has been Starlight. So, just noticing that. So yeah, it's a lot of characters there to like and love and everything like that. And now we move on to a character that I'm still not entirely 100% sure about. Iron Will's back! That's a terrible impression. I can't, I don't know. I don't remember any of his specific lines, but if I did, I'd try and I'd probably fail. But yeah, he's back. The Minotaur is back, and I mean, it's kind of unfortunate that he's now just a straight-up antagonist. Well, in his first episode, he didn't really seem that bad of a guy. He seemed like he kind of learned his lesson after Fluttershy stood up to him. He was just like, alright, I better go off and figure out how to teach ponies to be assertive in the right way. But that didn't end up happening, and now he's come back, and he's basically Flim Flam Brothers 2.0. And I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing, but it goes actually beyond just him being a con pony, because technically, when the Flim Flam Brothers first appeared, they weren't con ponies either. They had a legitimate product in the apple cider. It was only in their second appearance, where they were selling that miracle tonic, that they became full-on shysters. Iron Will actually seems a little bit better than them, because he's still offering a legitimate product, and moreover than that, nobody reads the fine print here in this episode, which, I mean, makes them look like the dumb ones. Like, he laid it all out. It was there for them to read. And if they didn't read it, they really can't hold him accountable. I mean, like, on the one hand, the Flim Flam Brothers are actually a little bit more honest about their business practices, because they full on admit that they are shysters and they're conning ponies out of their stuff. But on the other hand, like, Iron Will's a little bit better than them because, like I said, he's still offering legitimate products. I guess we'll have to wait and see for a third appearance from him. I'd say in either next season or the season after that. And we'll see what happens there. I mean, it was still nice to have him back, though. And I also kind of do like that he seems a little bit smarter here. Like, when he first appeared, he kind of just seemed like a dumb brute, macho man. Like, I don't know how to say it, but, like, you all know what I mean. Like, he didn't seem that intelligent. He was fooled by Pinkie Pie's, duck season, rabbit season thing there, and he was just all yelling in people's faces and wasn't really listening to other people's opinions until Fluttershy got the better of him. And apparently the only thing he learned from that was to not offer a satisfaction guarantee, so that way he could get his bits. Oh, and get paid first, obviously. Get paid before you get, before the end there. Whatever. But no, like, he does seem a little bit smarter, and I'm okay with that. Like, I like smarter villains. T-Rex was a good villain because he was so smart. So, yeah, I mean, Iron Will. Yeah, not bad. Just not really... He's not exactly the same, so it's hard to swallow a little bit. I imagine that this is how people felt in Season 4 with the Flim Flam Brothers, and then over time they kind of got used to it, and then Season 5 finale and Season 6, everybody's now like, okay, yeah, the Flim Flam Brothers are horrible, horrible people, but they're kind of fun sometimes. Iron Will seems like he's more fun all the time, even if he's not that great a person. Whatever. There were some callbacks in this episode. I of course, putting your hoof back down, and all the stuff with Iron Will there. But from the tour, there was also a major callback to Sonic Rainboom with Twilight touring the Weather Factory, which, that's pretty cool. Also just reminding us that, of course, Twilight and Shining Armor grew up in Canterlot, and then, although it was very, very botched, Cadance did rescue Spike from Sombra in the Season 3 premiere. So, while the telling of it is kind of wrong, while the details are kind of wrong, it's still got some truth to it. Like all good stories, I suppose. Now, there is one more character to talk about. Star Tracker. Now, when I first watched this, I thought he was creepy, but kind of adorkable too, I mean, he's just kind of so nervous around Twilight and everything. But then rewatching it and taking a look at a couple of other reactions, actually, because this is actually a couple days later that I'm recording this. Yeah, he's basically a celebrity stalker. His name, Star Tracker, does not necessarily mean he's an astronomer, but instead could possibly mean that he's basically like a very persistent paparazzi. And while I would rather him turn into an astronomer, that would be much better career. I mean, hey, maybe he goes to work for Photo Finish at some point. Lord help us all if he does, but whatever. I mean, he wasn't bad, and he did kind of earn some points back at the end by standing up to Iron Will for 5 seconds. But, no, I mean, he's not bad. He's just... he does, I think, need a few lessons in personal space. Yeah. I mean, if he is a future astronomer, maybe he is a little bit upset about missing out on those stars, too. Yeah? And speaking of, there was one of those stars that just kind of flew over at the end as the sun was rising, so that couldn't have been just a leftover from the night before, so is that symbolic of something? Is it important somehow? Maybe it'll come back in the season finale? I don't know. So, yeah. About this episode on the whole, I mean, it came right after the movie premiered, so I honestly thought this would be a skippable one before watching it. And I'm still not entirely sure how to feel about it, but I don't think it's skippable. It has a fair number of applicable lessons, which we'll get to, and it's actually very enjoyable to watch. It's just that sometimes when I watch it, I come away feeling a little bit unsatisfied. I don't really know where to place it yet in the list of episodes. So, I mean, it'll probably be in the top half, but other than that, I don't really know. And before we get to those lessons, the movie itself, I plan on reacting to when it comes out online digitally, which will give me a very good copy to react to. So that's probably going to be several months. But hopefully I'll be able to avoid too many spoilers until then. So yeah, some of the lessons that I got out of this episode. I mean, most of them are only applicable... In the specifics, they're only really applicable to people in a leadership type position. Which, I mean, yeah, show this to some corporate executives, I guess. You know? I mean, they'll probably take Iron Will's side, but who knows? They might actually get something out of it. But yeah, the lessons that I take, first and foremost, you're never going to be able to please everybody. Which should be common sense, but unfortunately it's not. All too often, in both our personal lives and in society as a whole, we try to please everybody. We can't have everybody or anybody mad. If anybody is mad, then everybody's not happy, and life is horrible. Yeah, life is horrible anyways. The sooner everybody accepts that, the sooner we can move on. Don't try to please everybody, just try and please maybe some of the people closest to you. And yourself sometimes. Speaking of which, that's kind of the next thing, is that you should never try to please other people at the expense of yourself. If you are hurting yourself, or hurting, like, if you're trying to please somebody else, and it makes it so that you feel horrible on the inside, or you hurt yourself physically, any of that, you shouldn't do it. You should always take good care of yourself, and try to help other people if you can. And if you do put yourself in a situation like that, where you're, hurting yourself and whatnot, don't take your anger out on other people. That is definitely one that I kind of have some problems with. So, I mean, maybe that's why I don't really like the episode sometimes, because I have a hard time applying these lessons. But, yeah. And, of course, last couple ones, really obvious, like Twilight said, if something's bothering you, you should speak up about it. Don't just let it stew, let it simmer, let it grow into an actual problem. And of course, last but not least, read the fine print. If every pony had read the fine print in this episode, we probably wouldn't have had very many problems. Oh dear. So yeah, I mean, I think that's about everything for this episode. There might be a few more things that could be talked about, but on the whole, I'm pretty happy with having gotten all this out. Now there is a couple of things for upcoming episodes. I know that all of the episodes have been leaked, and I'm already getting thumbnail spoilers. Just before I started recording this, I actually saw 2 thumbnails. One of them is for next week's episode. Something about it's something about Pinkie Pie. I know Pinkie Pie's in it. It says of pie, something end of pies or something like that. So Pinkie Pie. I mean, waifu. Yay. So I'm not opposed to that, but yeah. I mean, I guess with that title, knowing that Pinkie Pie's in it isn't really a problem. And I've forgotten what the other thing was, so that's probably the really important part. As for the other one that I saw is actually the week after that, and I feel like this one's actually a little bit more of a spoiler because it already gives me an idea of the plot. And that is, it's a episode that involves both Maud and Sunburst, which automatically makes me know that Starlight's going to be involved somehow because she's the only connection there. And what a connection that is. Maud Pie, awesome. Sunburst, he was pretty fun when he was around in the first episodes of season 6. I mean, we haven't really seen that much of him after that, but he seemed like pretty fun, you know? So I look forward to having more of him in the show, and Maud Pie and him, I feel like, might actually get along really well, because Sunburst sometimes doesn't know when to shut up, but Maud expresses herself very concisely, or not at all sometimes, so they kind of balance out, and I'm thinking that will lead to some shipping, which, I mean, I'm not opposed to that. I don't really have any ships for Maud. Boulder might get jealous. Oh, DWK would be able to use that. Because, I mean, his DWK's whole thing about Maud and Starlight becoming friends was that Pinkie was trying to get Maud to avoid moving away and living with Boulder by herself in the middle of nowhere. And, yeah, just, like, I don't know where I'm going with this anymore. Either way, though, yeah, I mean, I look forward to the upcoming episodes, including the finale, which should have something to do with the legends. Oh, that's right, I did see something. It was like all of the legends in a circle around Star Swirl, and it looked like something to do with the Elements of Harmony, which just, yes, all of my yes. It also looks like they are making the finale a 2-parter after all, which I was not expecting. But I don't know. I am not going to react to them, though, until the full 1080p is available from the iTunes thing, that I can download them from Yaypony, because that's how I know they're good quality. Yeah, I mean, so I'll get to them when I get to them. I will get to them when I get to them. And this week has been not the greatest as far as recording goes, but I am glad to finally be done with it. So, I will see all of you guys next time. I just hit the microphone, so that probably just screwed up your ears. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I'm gonna say goodbye now. Bye.